I'm gonna go over how I fish underwater points or extended just kind of lake points. So right now we have a point behind me here and the actual land point, and then off that land point there's like a flat, and then there's another point that comes all the way out here, and we're almost on the very, very tip of it. And there are lake trout absolutely everywhere on here. And some of them are playing ball, some of them are not. We got 7:30 in the morning and these lakers are just fired up on bait. So what's great about underwater point is it basically has two ledges on either side of it. So it's kind of like just a really, really sweet spot for lakers to eat. Got him. Not very big, but there's 5-6 lakers down there right now. First fish of the morning. Nice little one. Going back in. So catch one more fish and then I'll show you where I am. I mean, these underwater points. So I fish a lot of lakes around me in New Hampshire that don't have nice points like this. This is like one of the most beautiful points that you can really fish when I do get a chance to show it to you here in a minute. And I'll tell you kind of how I started fishing, how I start fishing these things. So right now we got wind coming out of the east. This lake runs north to south for the most part. So I want to fish the eastern side first and kind of back my way over it. Or what you can do is you can run over it if your point is not super shallow. Right now we're in 80 feet. I'm not worried about spooking lakers running over the top of it. I'm worried about spooking bait running over the top of it. So I'm running Livescope XR, which is very expensive, but you can see right there, that giant fuzzball right there, that's bait. If that was up higher, I would 100% spook that with the gas motor and scatter the bait that's keeping the lakers around me. So I got a laker, I think right underneath me here. Oh, I missed him. Missed him. Dang it. Got him. Just turn on the freaking gas. Ugh. Just absolutely bonkers, guys. Bait in the area. We got a steep ledge, underwater point, which I'll show you here in a second. There we go. Another pain in the butt fish. So let me show you where I am here. So right now we are right on the very edge of it. So we got deep water kind of all around us. And we're kind of almost right on the very point of where it starts to change direction or start to come up. So this point is kind of going like this out into Main Lake, which is awesome. And then it works its way back all the way around here. So we're going to start at the point and kind of pick our way down the side of it as a spot starts to get burned out, basically, and the fish stop loading in this area. You could actually spend hours in one spot. If the bait stays in the area, the lakers will stay in the area. So this is the spot that we're on right now. So I started on the very tip of the point because it's deep. If it was shallow, like 50 feet, I would have started anywhere deeper than that because you don't want to spook any fish. You don't want to spook the bait like I just talked about. So we want to start right on the tip of that and kind of work our way kind of like down one side of it based on which way your wind is coming from. And then we can hop over to the other side and fish that other side. So basically two sides of the mountain. And I tried to film this video last year and the bait was just not here for whatever reason. So I think the bait's here because wind is blowing out of the west this morning, or actually out of the east. So we have a couple lakers down there right now. And you guys can see the 2D on the right there. Which I think I need to turn the sensitivity up just a smidgen. Just barely see my jig on there. Oh, here they come. One. Almost all the way to the surface. Let's mess with the settings here. Got him! As I was messing with the settings there. He might pop off here now as I'm messing with him. Holy moly, there's 7 or 8 Lakers down there. Whew! Starting to sweat here, the sun's trying to come out. About 65 degrees here this morning on the New York side of Lake Champlain. Yeah, the one going right back in. Now these fish are absolutely fired up first thing in the morning. They're chasing bait before the bait starts to move around too much. So there's my jig. Here comes a fish, and here comes his buddy. His buddy just scared him away. I have seen bigger fish spook off smaller fish to get food. It's really cool to watch. So while I'm waiting for the next fish to come in, right now we're using the big bait kit from benditfish.com. These are baits that I sell and make in my garage. They're not made in China. They're not made overseas. Literally made mostly in New England. I do have a guy make jigs for me, electric bass jigs down in Massachusetts, and then I have some help that makes some of my plastics. And I'll show you what I'm using right now while we're waiting for fish to come in. And we're matching alewife in this lake. So most of the alewife in this lake are between 3 and 6 inches. There are some that run up to about 12 inches. So this one's beat up because I caught a bunch of fish on it yesterday. I haven't replaced it yet. But it's a 1 ounce jig with a 6-inch glow in the dark grub. And there are so many Lakers down there right now. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 ounce still seems to take forever to get to the bottom here. And it's lead free, so you can use it in any of the states. So New Hampshire has restrictions on lead. I think Oregon, Washington State has restrictions on lead. Mass, Vermont. Three, 2, 1. Bang. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Lakers down there looking for food this morning. This is fun. Nice fatso. Look at the chunk on that thing. Chunk, I say. I'm gonna lose the bibs here. It's getting warm. Finally. So we are doing the wait and run technique. So we are gonna drop our jig, which is right there. And I don't know why it's really not showing up well on 2D today. I think we have a little bit of current here today. Ooh. Oh. Chasing the heck out of me without committing. So we're going to ignore him and go back down. We get another fish coming up to me. So we don't want to hit bottom, so we're going to stop it. Because these alewives in most bait don't hide near bottom. So see that big ball there on Livescope XR? That is alewives, or it could be smelts because they're pretty small. So these Lakers are just chasing those things around non-stop. And then when a fish engages with us, oh my goodness, there's Lakers everywhere. Got him right almost near the surface. I'm like, I gotta catch one of those 7 Lakers down there. This one's feisty. Feisty, feisty, feisty. Ooh. So there's a couple reasons why fish can turn around on me. One, they're bigger. And then two, they've hooked themselves either further back in the mouth so they have a little bit more leverage. Or I snagged them. But on the chase, which is what we're doing, the wait and run technique, which is the chase, very rarely do you snag fish. Please hold. Not my turn yet. Just dogging me at 40 feet. Using a 7-foot medium heavy. Actually, this is probably a, it's rated for like 2.5 ounces. This is a pretty heavy rod, but it's an older Cabela's rod I really like. It's nice and slow. And it has a long butt section to do that with my arm. And we do not want the Lakers on the surface. We want to keep them under the water until the very last minute. When they get on the surface, they can get some sort of traction on the surface there and throw that hook out. And that's where people lose fish. Any sort of fish, really. Unless you're like crappie, where they're like their mouth is starting to stretch open, you'd rather just yank them in. Oh, that's a heavy one. Nice fatso. They love to bleed. Nice fish. 30 on the money. So the big bait kit also comes with 4.75-inch swim baits that also glow in the dark. So there is light down there that I've determined with like an underwater camera. But the glow in the dark, glow chartreuse, and they just love it. They love it, love it, love it. There's still a bunch of fish down there. So I loosened my drag on that fish, so I need to tighten it again in order to set the hook sufficiently with these larger wire gauge hooks. So this is the 2X gauge hook. It's like a 7, oh my goodness. Ooh, missed it. So I am preemptively setting the hook, and I shouldn't be doing that. So I'll teach you a technique real quick not to miss those chases. So just keep reeling. Still gotta watch your screen though. We don't want to let it hit bottom. We want to stay, I don't know, 10, 15 feet off bottom. And then when a fish engages us, we want to start reeling. See, I got one coming up from the bottom, rocketing up to it. Got him. Easy peasy. And you got to have the right bait. Do not use light wire bass jigs for this. You will hook one of these bigger fish, like in the 30+ inch range, and they will bend that hook out if they are hooked wrong. It's not when they're hooked right is the issue. It's when they're hooked wrong is the issue. Just another slop. Grab the fish by the tail, chuck him back in. And before I even like wipe my hands off, I'm opening my bail, sending my jig back down there. And I have never fished this spot before, and obviously it's really good. Tried last year, and the fish weren't here, which happens. And if you're getting a lot of like chases and not a lot of committals, there's a couple things you can do. Not really specific to this, so obviously that's a pretty big swim bait. I can chop that down. I can take this off, cut the front of it off, and shorten it up a little bit, which will eliminate some of the smaller fish issues. Or I use this Lunker Lotion Alewife oil. And I'll leave a link for that down there below. So these fish are honing in on this jig for, you know, 50 feet, and they're trying to smell it the whole time. Like, is that a jig or is that a fish? Is that a jig? Is that a fish? A lot of these fish have been caught probably a couple times. There's so many Lakers in this lake, so I don't know. So the bite is slowed down just a little bit. And so I can do what's called a, ooh, crap. So that fish saw me too much and changed his mind. I can't do that micro move like I was saying. I literally won't even pick up with the gas motor. I'll just pull off spot lock and drift. Not drift, power over 100 feet that way, 200 feet. So there's definitely some current down there today. So my jig should be about 2 feet away from the sonar, and it's 22 feet. So what's happening is current's coming this way, hitting the ledge or the point below me, and I think pushing me out that way, which is really, really weird. Oh, come on, man. Small one. Just ignore them. There's a couple more down there anyways. So it's hard to tell and describe to people like how, so we want to match the enthusiasm of the fish when we're running away. So if they're fired up, we want to fire up, because they'll slackline us and then they'll get the hook more in their mouth, in their gill rakers and stuff. And that will damage the fish more, especially if you're doing catch and release. I think the limit for this lake is 2. So, I mean, I would have been done within the first 10 minutes or so. I'm surprised they haven't raised it for, I think it might be 3. Let's get one more here. Like I said, if the fish are here in this spot, don't move unless you haven't seen one in maybe a half an hour, depending on the population of Lake Trout Lake. Now, this lake is very populated with Lakers. I'll give it like 15 minutes and then I'll bounce. Other lakes that I fish, I'll wait half an hour sometimes between fish. And if you're using the big bait kit, which comes with 4 1-ounce jigs, 2 3/4, and then a bunch of other stuff, leave it on the deck so it can charge in the sun. This one's like semi-committed. Got it. And then I've had some people ask why I use bait casters, and it's an ergonomic issue. So catching these medium-sized Lakers all day is pretty strenuous on your arms, like a little tiny chicken arms. And you want to have your arms in the most ergonomic position, which a bait caster is more ergonomic than a spinning rod. Spinning rod, your wrist is kind of like tweaked over. There we go. All right, that's it for fishing points, folks. If you guys want to support the channel, visit benditfish.com. If you want to see more lake trout videos, either click here or click here. And this is part of the summer playlist, so there'll be more videos this summer. And fish move around season to season to season. That's why I do these things in playlists per season. Thanks for watching. See you on one of the next videos.